God can. I know God can, but will God do it for me is a different question than what God's able to do. And can God really take 21 years of, well, I've been overweight since elementary. Can God take, since the third grade, first grade, can God take all those years of woundedness and pain and hurt and isolation and loneliness and feelings of inadequacy and feelings of hopelessness and doubt, can God really take all those years and turn them around? Can he really change my sorrow for gladness, my mourning, my weeping for dancing? Can he really take, is his word true? Can he really take all those years of, I can't do this, all the years of everybody thinking that I'm accomplished when I do things in my life, but they're not knowing that I only attempted to do things I thought I can do. So to everybody else, I looked like I was doing well. Not that I didn't try well in school or in things that I engaged in, but for the most part, I only pursued things that I thought I could do. And this was the first time in my life that I decided I'm going to trust you to help me do something that I don't think I can do. I didn't think I could lose 5 pounds. And it wasn't so much about the weight as much as it was, I was like, God, I need you to help me because I can't live trapped the rest of my life. I can't make every decision in my life about fear. I can't pre-set out in my mind whether or not I can do something and then that determine if I make the next decision. I mean, every aspect of my life I pre-thought out whether or not I thought I was going to be uncomfortable, whether or not I thought I was going to be safe in a situation, whether it was a relationship or an event, whether it was a party, whether it was, something as simple as, physically, practically, in the weight sector, it was like I would map out, let's say I'm at an event or I'm at can I make it, how am I going to make it to my seat? Because that pathway seems too narrow. That person set back too far in their seat. I can't walk through there. Like literally I had to pre-think every decision that I made. I go to the event, can that chair hold me up? I'm going on an airplane, will I have to ask for an extension belt? And those are physical, practical realities. Not to mention entering relationships, will I feel rejected by this person? Even ministry callings, I was so consumed by my own insecurities that even platforms to minister, and I was always conscious of my own reality. It was very difficult. And so even affirmation or the lack thereof and how I performed or ministered was so much attached to my own insecurities and my confidence. And I didn't want my ministry to be about me. I didn't want ministry to be about me because when you are, like me, you had so many issues and you have been rejected so much. Wherever you found accolades, wherever you were given a pat on the back, you kind of clung to that. And that became scary for me because ministry became an avenue where that happened for me. And so it almost became like my ministry is an opportunity for me to feel good about myself, and that was dangerous. That was very dangerous for me. And I thank God that he showed that to me at a younger age because I see that in a lot of people that are older. And one thing, I say is I only go through what I have to go through. I'm one of the people who I learned really well from sitting down and watching people. And one thing that I learned is that people don't mature with time. One thing that I learned is spiritual growth doesn't just happen with time. That it is an openness to the spirit, and it is literally a act of saying, God, you got to do it because I can't. And so I see 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds who are still very insecure, who are still using their realms of ministry to feed themselves. I see just brokenness and bitterness in older women. And one thing that taught me was that if I don't turn my heart over to God now, it's not like as I grow in age, I'm just going to do it. And that was the scariest season of my life to actually say, God, I'm going to trust you to heal me, that I'm going to trust you to set me free. But over the past 3 or 4 years, like literally the weight loss for me has been literally weights being dropped off of me. And it wasn't so much about like, yeah, I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be physically fit. I wanted to engage in life. But more so, I wanted my heart to be set free. And as much as I knew that those two things were in direct correlation with one another. I knew that what kept me from pursuing my weight loss was my fear that I couldn't do it. And so and it's just been crazy because over the last year, I started vlogging and doing videos, and I honestly did it for accountability and just as an avenue for me to just be real, because the more that I'm open and I don't feel like I have to hide things about myself, actually the more safe I feel, the more secure I feel, because I'm like, this is me. And I think over the years, you kind of stuff you feel you have to hide. You got to make it through. You got to make sure that people can accept this person that you present. But what this journey has allowed me to do is be like, this is me, take it or leave it. So whatever you take or leave, I know that I can walk away and say, I was just me. And so whoever loves me, whoever accepts me, whoever embraces me, literally, genuinely loves me and embraces me and accepts me. And I don't have to second guess who's real in my life. I don't have to second guess who gives me a place for security. I don't have to second guess who loves me, because I knew at the end of the day, I put my stuff out there. And it created an opportunity for me to walk away and say, I was me today. I was me in this situation. I was me in this relationship, and whoever's going to take it is going to take it. And it's been amazing, the response. In my video, I think one thing that I kind of am anti is people who, their story is what God brought me through, what I used to be. And not a lot of people, both in the church and outside of the church, talk about where they are on the journey, who welcome people into their current struggle, who welcome people into their current fight. And so it's very unrealistic, or it seems like impossible when you look at a story and a person goes, for example, weight loss, they go, I lost 100 and something pounds, and you can too, do it, and it's not like you never showed people what that process was like for you. And whether it's weight loss or another struggle in your life, I think God has called us within the Christian community is to welcome people into our journeys, to welcome people into our struggles, because what you begin to realize, which I didn't know, I was willing and I was obedient to my process. What I didn't realize is that enabled people, as I set forth to be real and honest and vulnerable and open and ask God to set me free, it was not my motive to help other people lose weight. I didn't think I could. It wasn't my motive to get other people to learn how to be free and open and honest and vulnerable and have intimate relationships in their life. I just took my life and I put it before God and I said, here it is. And as a result, I'm amazed at how many people who are like, because of you, I've started my weight loss journey. I mean, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 20. I had a 13-year-old girl who hit me up on Facebook and was just like, can you help me? And I mean, I was in tears because at 13 years old, I would have never reached out to anyone. And I'm just like, God, I just wanted to be set free. All I wanted to do was be set free. And you use that as an opportunity to help set other people free. A lady contacted me last night. I was telling Val this morning. And she goes, I've been in deep depression for the past couple years. And I've gained so much weight. She has over 100, and 20 pounds that she has to lose. And she goes, and when I watched your videos, you gave me hope. And it wasn't so much about, I know that what's different in my videos is not so much about that I talk about how I lose weight, because you can find that all on the internet. But it was that I share my heart struggles. I shared the psychological battles. I shared my fears. I shared how I was real with God. I shared how I talk about the hard moments that no one talks about. And while that was very difficult for me to do, I realized that in this thing called life, in this thing called Christianity, we have to become a community of people that are real. And we don't have to wait till we've arrived at this place, because we never arrive at a particular place. That is consistently a journey. And I know people say that, but not many people model that before us. And so we get a whole bunch of Christian lingo and language and slogans and phrases, but not many people live out before us. And so we take those same languages and we feed them to our children in youth ministry and our kids in children's ministry, but we don't model that before them, because that's never been modeled before us. And so I just really am at a place in my life where I'm like, God, if you can use me to model that, if you can take my life and continue to have me on this journey of freedom and healness and wholeness, and then I can show people in your body that the impossible is possible. I think we've got, like, one of my favorite lines is, I face the seemingly impossible, because things that we often think are impossible, when you give your heart over to Jesus, miracles really do happen. And I don't care if you already know him. I knew Christ since I was a child. But sometimes we think that that's sufficient, that we know him, but that we have not given ourselves over to him fully. And that's a process. That's an everyday journey. So, I mean, that's just a brief snapshot of the past 3 to 4 years of my life. And it's been difficult, but it's been the most amazing journey I've ever been on in my life. I can say that much, that no amount of career aspirations, no amount of activities or nothing I can engage in has given me the sense of connectedness to God as being at a place where I can say I can be completely myself with you, brokenness and all, and trust that you're a safe place. That when the scripture says you're a refuge, you really are, and that you will bring people in my life, and he will bring people in your life that will make you feel safe, and I will provide that. Because I don't just walk into any circle and be like, hi, my name is Liana, and I'm struggling with obesity the past 50. I don't do that, but he provides an avenue, he provides a vehicle, a context where people who genuinely love the Lord and genuinely love you and will be an avenue of building you up. But I had to give myself over to God before he was able to give me people to pour into me, because knowing me, I would have relied on them to be my confidence or my sense of security, and that's not what he wanted. That's not what he wanted of me initially, but then he began to give me a community because I was able to use them in a healthy way. So that's been, it's so hard to say what the last 3 or 4 years of my life have been like. It's been a roller coaster, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't do, if I can go back, I wouldn't have gotten surgery, because surgery couldn't give me that experience. Mm-hmm. Surgery couldn't give me both the self-confidence, but surgery couldn't give me the hard work that needed to take place along the line. Surgery couldn't give that to me. Mm-hmm. Did I want surgery 3 or 4 years ago? Absolutely. I'm a scary cat, so I wouldn't have done it, because I'm like, I'm not going under the knife and dying, so we're going to have to do this the natural way. But at the same time, and I don't knock people who get surgery, but people ask me, there's a level to this. If you don't need it for medical reasons, I don't advise you to give it, because we're in a context that we want things to happen overnight. And even if 3 or 4 years ago you had told me it would have taken 3 to 4 years and I'm still not done, I probably wouldn't have signed up. I had no clue how long this thing would take me. I had no clue what the next 3 or 4 years of my life looked like. And God knows best, because he was like, Liana, in 4.5 years, I would be like, But how 3 or 4 years passed by in our lives before and nothing's happened. And that's why I have to tell myself, 3 years of my life have passed before, and I've been in this same place of unhappiness and discontent and fear. And so if it takes 4 years, if it takes 5 years, if it takes 10 years to set me free, it's better than 10 years of my life going by and I'm still stuck. And so it's been worth it to me. It's definitely been worth it. I want it over. I still have ways to go, but it's definitely worth it. And I just pray that you guys would, your thing may not be weight, but whatever your thing is in your life that could possibly be an aspect of you being bound, Christian or not. We have areas where we're bound and we're afraid to give them over to God because we don't really trust that he will guard it the way we think it should be guarded. I guarantee you he will. And that's been a talk about a faith journey. But it's been fun. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been worth it. So that's a little bit of my story. I know I'm very long-winded, but it's hard to give you 3 to 4 years in however many minutes I just shared.